With Ottawa 67's forward Mitch Hoelscher. And first of all, Hoelsch, how have you been keeping busy during COVID-19?
Yeah, just doing everything everyone else is doing. Just been working out, keeping my distance. Hanging with my brother, playing a lot of video games. Just trying to stay busy throughout the day and you know work out as much as I can.
Does it help having your brother, or does it kind of get irritating just having one person close to your own age around?
No, I like it. I mean, I think I'd get bored without him. We're both pretty competitive, so like when it comes to video games, or he works out with me sometimes, or he'll shoot pucks with me just for fun as a challenge, and I think it's good having him here for sure.
What type of workouts are you able to get done?
Pretty much everything. I got a pretty good setup here at home. My dad's added a couple things. He just built me a sled on the weekend. If Sean Young is listening, he'll be loving that. But no, it's been good. My trainer at home has been good. He dropped me off some weights in a program, so I've been following that pretty much.
Are you binging any TV shows? What type of video games are you playing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I finished Ozark. That was good. Money Heist was probably my favorite one. I don't know if you watched that one. We just started Dead to Me, kind of a girly one, but killing time. Actually, I've watched the Michael Jordan series twice. I was really into that.
Twice.
I think you cut out again, Kenny.
Oh, no.
We're
Oh.
frozen. You're back now.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Michael Jordan one. How did you know anything or much about Jordan before watching that?
Honestly, no. I learned a lot. Like, I didn't even know who Dennis Rodman was, to be honest with you. I knew MJ was legit, but I think after watching that, it really sets in for sure of how good he was.
Can you imagine following along with Dennis Rodman in real time if there was Twitter or anything back then?
No, I don't know. Like, imagine even being on that guy's team, like what to think. But I don't know. Interesting for sure.
Is there anybody that you've ever played with that could be compared to Dennis Rodman, even like a minor version of him?
No, I don't think so. I think that guy's he's pretty unique on his own. I mean, give him credit though. When it came time to go on the floor, he was ready to go. So, no, I don't know anyone though.
Growing up in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, when did you start playing hockey?
I think I started skating when I was like 3 or something like that, and started playing hockey when I was 4. My brother, he was into it first, and I always loved watching him play. So that's kind of where I started.
How much did you look up to your brother, whether it be on the ice or just in life in general? And obviously, I don't know if it shows up on everywhere, but on my screen it says Clayton Hoelscher. So obviously, you two are still tight.
Yeah. Obviously, I've always looked up to him. I mean, he played lacrosse too, and I played lacrosse in the summer. So I always watched him, whether it was hockey, lacrosse, whatever it was. It's just he's been a good role model for me, and I always steal his laptop to do these Zoom interviews.
What do you have a favorite hockey or minor hockey memory from growing up?
You know what? There's so many for me. I met so many great people along the way, and we had so many great teams in Waterloo. Even in my younger days, and I played for Center Wellington. We won the OHFs for, I think it was like single A or something like that. But I'm still buddies with a lot of those guys. And the one that sticks out to me is Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge would play in this like Toyota Cup series. So I don't know how many games you had to win. I don't remember, but it was us and Kitchener in the final, Waterloo and Kitchener. And you play in the odd, and it's pretty good fans for you're in minor band. And the winning team got to go to Japan, and our team we had a good year, and we won and got to go to Japan for a week, I think it was, and that was one of the best times of my life.
What do you remember about Japan?
Just the culture, like it was pretty cool. We got to go to like players' houses, like two guys would go to a family's house and have a dinner with them and kind of learn more about their culture and their daily life, and that was definitely eye-opening. And I was a young kid. I didn't really think about that then, but now looking back on it, it's pretty cool.
Is there still that giant rivalry? Because I grew up in Kitchener and hated Waterloo. Was it the same going back the other way?
Yeah. We Kitchener and Waterloo was it was pretty much a war. I mean, especially for that Japan series, there was a lot of hatred for sure. I think anyone that was involved with it knew that, and it was a lot of fun for sure.
Moving on to your minor midget season, how much pressure is there on the entire team? Because you're all going through the same process at the same time for the OHL draft. Does that seep into the room at all?
You try not to think about it, obviously. I don't think you want to perform, but there's always gonna be pressure. I don't think you really feel it from scouts necessarily, but no, I don't really feel like there's that much pressure.
And then on to the OHL draft day itself. Take us through your day. What were you doing? Where were you?
Yeah, I was actually here in Aurora with my family, just in the living room watching it. It's actually pretty stressful. You have an idea of where you're gonna go, and people kind of tell you where to go, or you're gonna go. But no, just so excited to hear my name called by Ottawa, and so happy I got to go to Ottawa for sure.
Did you feel like you slipped in the draft, that you were taken ahead, or right where you thought you could go?
I think I was told I knew from second round on. So after every pick in the second round, I was kind of stressed out of it. But again, like I said, I'm really happy I got to go to Ottawa, and I just love everything about Ottawa.
Did you have a good interview with Ottawa? Did you have a feeling that maybe you could end up with the 67s?
Yeah, I think I met with them at the combine, the OHL combine there, just kind of behind the scenes kind of thing. Like it's obviously, I went to the NHL combine and it was nothing like that, but had that and then the phone call interview, and they were really high on me. So yeah, I thought it went really well with Ottawa.
Did you ever consider going the NCAA route?
No, like I said, growing up watching the Rangers and the Storm, I was always a big fan of the OHL, and OHL route was always for me.
How many games did you get to a year as a kid?
A lot, actually. A lot of my buddies had season tickets to the Rangers, so I'd always grab, if they didn't have their brother or whatever going, I would go. Even after like practices, sometimes in Waterloo, you'd get undressed as fast as you can to sneak over to the yacht if there's a Friday night or whatever. Yeah, I went to a lot of OHL games. Steve Spott was a coach of the Rangers at the time, and his kid played on my team, so we got a lot of dressing room tours, and he treated us really well. So that's something I'll never forget.
When you were younger, I don't know if it's still okay to do, but I used to play mini sticks in the stairs on the way up. There was always that little landing. Was that still going on when you were younger?
You cut out a bit there. You just said about mini sticks there.
Mini sticks in the odd. Is that still a thing on the, like, down in the basement by the dressing rooms? That was one spot. My dad worked for the Kitchener-Waterloo Old Timers Hockey League, so their office was there, so I would mess around and screw around down there. But also on the stairways up, there was little landings that you could play mini sticks.
Oh, you cut out again, Kenny.
They don't want to hear my mini stick story, clearly. What was your first training camp with the 67s like?
It was a big eye opener for sure. Coming in at 16, I was, really, really small, to be honest with you. I wasn't, I don't think I was ready for it, to be honest. You go on the ice with a guy like Travis Barron, who's a big man at that time. And, definitely a big eye opener for me, but it was a lot of fun. And I think the guys were really good to me, and the organization was good. And it was a good experience.
Did you think that you would stick with the team out of camp despite being a little bit smaller?
You know what? I wasn't really sure, to be honest with you. I was never really a confident kid. I always just kind of said, well, maybe we'll see what happens kind of thing. I thought I had a pretty good camp, and I played in one preseason game against Kingston, and I thought I did all right. And yeah, you know what? I think it went well.
Was it the correct decision, looking back at it in hindsight, do you think, to go play in the GOJHL with Elora?
With Elmira, Kenny. Come
Elmira,
on.
sorry. Yeah, with Elmira.
Quarantine, you're getting off. But no, it was looking back, at the time I was kind of, heartbroken a bit. I got cut, but in hindsight, it was the best thing for me. Elmira's a first-class organization from top to bottom. I got to play power play minutes, first line minutes, and adjust to junior hockey, I think, and that was we won a championship too. So that experience was I couldn't change that, right? So that was awesome, and I don't regret a thing about that. And
how much did it help going to play with your brother in Elmira as well?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, my dad and his brother, they were with the Sugar Kings for a bit too when they were kids, and then for me and my brother to be with the Sugar Kings was something so cool. And going on the rink every day with your brother is something that's just, I don't know, I can't really describe for me, because there's just so much. We always battle back here in the backyard, and now we're playing together, so it was a lot of fun.
You guys are a couple of years apart, so is that the first time that you actually played with him in a competitive, organized game?
Yeah, that was the first time too. Yeah.
What was that run to the GOJHL championship like?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, to see the Dan Schneider Memorial Center filled, like 2,000, 3,000 people packed, and for the playoffs was pretty cool. We had a really good team. Funny thing is we went to the finals, but we lost in the league play. And then there's a wild card team from the other three leagues kind of thing. It'd be like the W, the Q, and the O, and the three teams go on, but there's no host.
Okay.
So we were like the wild card team that had the best winning percentage. So we went to like the Memorial Cup kind of thing, which is a 4-game series, and we beat Caledonia, who was a pretty big powerhouse in that league. They got a lot of OHL players. So I think that was the first time they've been beaten in like 3 years or something like that in the playoffs, and we beat them and then went on to win the Southern Cup. But we lost in the Cherry Cup finals, but won the whole league. So it's kind of weird it worked out, but it was really cool.
You also made your OHL debut in your 16-year-old season. What do you remember from that game? Because that one was an odd one. Second 14-round shootout of the season for the 67s. Aside from missing in your shootout attempt, what do you remember from it?
Yeah, that was kind of a blur for me at the time. I remember, my dad dropped me off at the arena and we'd beaten the bus to the rink. We were obviously there really early, and I was just sitting in the room by myself, kind of looking at the rink, like, holy, this is obviously a big jump. And then I'm pretty sure I started the game. Like I was starting the starting lineup, and I was beside Travis Barron and I think Folds maybe. And I just had, I was just in awe and shocked at what was going on. But I think I played pretty well, and I thought I was going to win it and shoot out. Like you said, I think I was like the 13th shooter or something like that. I don't know. And then the one after I didn't score, they went down and I think they scored or something like that. But yeah, it was that was a really good experience for me.
Well, I could go back and check if you like, because I do have it open here. It was in February. February 17th, you were the 8th shooter of 14 for the Ottawa 67s.
No, so I wasn't even close then, eh?
No, you were midway through the pack. Do you remember who shot before you and who shot after you?
No.
For you guys, no. Austin Keating and Ben Evans. A little trivia fact for you. I don't know. It really is useless. With a coaching change heading into your second season, did you have a different outlook heading into that second camp?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how that was going to go because obviously I didn't know Andre at all. Didn't really know Boydie. I didn't know if they've ever seen me play or if I was expected to make the team or not. So I think that summer was there's a lot of questions in my head whether I was going to make the jump or not. So it was pretty stressful summer. And then I think it was actually pretty good as Andre and Boydie drove to everyone's house when they got the job kind of thing. And they met with the players that were signed at the time and, talked about expectation and that. So that was kind of good. So I knew what to expect.
How much pressure did you put on yourself heading into the season with it being your NHL draft year?
Honestly, I didn't even think about my NHL draft at all. I knew it was my draft year, but I was just trying to be consistent in the lineup with Ottawa.
In the first half of that season, you were playing in the second half of the lineup. Did you find it difficult to really get a grip and find a stronghold in the OHL at that point?
Yeah, I think I was still adjusting, right? I was trying to fit in more than anything because I just came from junior B and obviously a lot stronger guys, and I still didn't know where I fit in and what kind of player I was. But I think throughout the year I kind of figured that out, and obviously with Andre, he helped me a lot with video and all the coaches, really, Norm and Mario, for sure. Just every day, just doing the little things that definitely helped me for sure.
Yeah, back-to-back Coach of the Year winner in Andre Tourney. But how big of an impact can a guy like Norm Millie have when he's played in the league? He's played pro hockey for years. How big of an impact did he have on your career?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Normal's a player's coach. He understands players so well. He's got a great relationship with us, everyone. And, he's a lot of fun to be around. He brings excitement to you to be better. And, Norm's been a big part of my success.
In the second half of that year and into the playoffs, you were a mainstay on that second line. Austin Keating and Cody Clark played a lot with you. What was it like to play with those guys and to get the confidence of the coach to maintain that position on the second line?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we made the trade. Was it for Fogues? We traded Fogues for Cass and Boomer. And then from there, I got bumped up to the second line. I think that gave me a lot of confidence. Cody's, he's a really fast player. He's skilled. He can make plays. And same with Keats, he works really hard. And I think for me, I was just going to the same spots and, I was getting the puck a little bit more. And, it gave me a lot more confidence playing with two really good players.
In the playoffs, you played the Hamilton Bulldogs. They went on to win, and a very good team. What was that first round series against the Bulldogs like, and what are your memories from it?
Yeah, that was big. I remember, just the preparation we did before. I've never done anything like that in my life for for a hockey game or series. We knew everything they were doing. And I think we gave them a good run at the start of the series. I think it was 1-1. And then, it kind of fell apart in the end. But I think that experience was great for we had a younger team, right? So I think that was huge for us playing against guys like Robbie Thomas, who was pretty unreal. I mean, there's some good highlights against us, but I think that was great for us to go through, and it helped us the year after.
You said you weren't thinking about the NHL draft at the start of the year. By the end of the year, did it creep into your mind?
Yeah, I started to kind of get some hyper attention around my name a bit. I had more phone calls, more interviews with teams, and I think I kind of had an idea I was becoming more of a radar player. Again, I really didn't think much of it. I didn't put pressure on myself. I just kind of went out and played and tried to improve and play the best I could.
Not being one of the top prospects for the draft, how many interviews did you end up doing heading into the draft?
Well, I didn't. I probably had about like 15 before the combine, and at the combine I only had like 9 or 10. Most guys have not most, but a lot of them have 30, 20. I roomed with Cody Clark there, and I think he had like 29. He was gone the whole day, and I was sitting in the hotel room. But no, I thought my interviews went well, and everyone that I talked to, they seemed to like the progressions and improvements I made throughout the year. So it was good.
And what were your expectations heading into the draft?
Really, I didn't have any. Again, same thing like the OHL draft. I was told, anywhere from the 4th round up, maybe I would be selected or I wouldn't be selected. So again, I was stressed from pick 4 and up, or round 4 and up. But I was really happy New Jersey selected me, and this is a really, really good feeling for sure.
Did you go to the draft?
No, it was in Dallas. I had talked to my agent about it. He's seen guys that have gone in the draft, and it doesn't happen, and that's a terrible feeling, obviously. So again, I watched it here like the OHL draft with my family, and watched my name get called on the screen, and then later I was getting a call from my agent and the Devils.
What were the emotions when you saw your name on the screen?
Yeah, well, your phone starts buzzing. It's pretty surreal. Like, it doesn't really sink in until later that night or the next day. But it was a pretty unbelievable feeling. That was a dream come true for sure.
How was your first taste of pro hockey at the development camp, training camp, and how big of a jump up is it from your day-to-day life in the OHL?
Yeah, it's a big jump. I mean, you go to a camp like development in the summer, right? And it's not like it's shinny hockey, or you're battling, you're improving, you're working on different stuff. They want you to improve there, and guys are trying to show they want a contract. You're going against the school guys, the OHL guys, the invites from in school that are a little bit older than you too. So it's a big eye opener, and it's a really good experience.
Was that a confidence boost for you to be selected and then to have that heading into your 3rd year?
Yeah, I think so. I think it really helped me grow as a player. It really helped me fit in. The season before my draft year, I wasn't really sure if I fit in. And I kind of learned my style of play that I wanted to play, and it could be effective at, throughout the camp in that year.
And what is that style of play?
I think I'm a 200-foot player. I think I can shut down or play against good players, as well as, produce offensively, and I'm smart and can make plays and be relied on defensively though.
In the 3rd season, obviously you guys had a hell of a year, going all the way to the OHL final. But at what point in the season did you feel that you guys could do something special?
Right from the start of the season, I think we knew we had a really good team, but I think what separated us was our mindset. Right from the start, Andre came in with a plan of, process first. We were really talented, but I think if we would just relied on our talent, we wouldn't have done the damage we did. We were really process oriented, and I think that got us pretty far, every day trying to get better in the gym, on the ice, little details. But I think it really kicked in once we got, Mikey, Maxi, and Chico. I think those guys were just older players that have been around the league, and they really just brought everything together for us.
I think a lot of people hear the word process and the just going through the process instead of looking at the results. I've never seen a team or an individual stick to it as well as you guys have over the last 2 years. How are you guys able to do that? Because it seems like it's a simple thing to do, but rarely anybody ever actually accomplishes it.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people hear the word process, we'll say it in the media or whatever, and they don't really understand that. I think Andre does a good job of that, of keeping us on the process. I mean, in video, he'll show you a clip that, that's not the way you want to play down the road. So why are you doing it now, kind of thing. Just little things like that in the gym. Every day you gotta actually commit to it. You gotta commit yourself to get better today so that tomorrow it'll pay off, kind of thing. And I think that's a big thing for the 67s.
You guys have gone on some very long winning streaks over the last 2 years, have played some unbelievable hockey, and yet back-to-back 50-win seasons, yet nobody ever talks about the wins, the losses, the winning streaks. You guys went on a 17-game winning streak. Is that something that they say not to talk about, or is it just a natural process by focusing on the process?
Yeah, Butler's bugging me a bit. No, that's absolutely something. I think we're all competitive players. The coaching staff's competitive. We all want to win really bad. But I think it's winning the right way and doing the right things. I mean, I think if you win a game 5-0, but you cheat and you're not playing defensively and you give up 35 shots, we're not happy with that. But if we win a 1-0 or lose 2-1 kind of game, 3-1 close game that we gave up 20 shots and they made good plays, and I think we're all right with that. It's more just play the right way, and the good things will happen.
You mentioned the acquisition of Mikey, Maximovich, and Chiodo. What did it mean to play on a line, for the most part, with Kyle Maximovich and Lucas Chiodo?
Yeah, they're unbelievable guys, first off. I mean, when they first came, Chico lived with me for a couple of days before he found a billet place, and just such a nice guy, and an older guy that doesn't care how young you are. He'll be your buddy, and just a really fun guy. And then on the ice, both of them, I mean, they handle the puck so well. They make plays. They hold on the puck, and it was easy for me. I just had to go to the right spot, and they would find me, or they were in the right spot at the right time, and we just clicked really well. I think we were a pretty good line, and that was something that gave me a lot of confidence throughout that playoffs and going into last year.
In the grand scheme of things, you guys were listed as a third line, but I don't think anybody ever considered you guys a third line. How much did it help having the players on the first two lines that you guys did and being able to get a little bit more room out there?
Yeah, I think you look at all four of our lines, they were all solid. They were well-rounded, and they all did kind of something different a little bit. And I think it was impossible for a team to line match against us, honestly. We were so deep and we worked so hard that no matter who was on the ice, I don't think it mattered.
All right, let's get on to the playoff run, because that was a fun time. What are your favorite memories from that run?
Yeah, there's a lot for sure. Showing up to the rink in shorts is the best thing ever for playoff time, but probably playing at home in front of sold out TD place are just memories you don't forget. How loud it would get when we would score, if we would come back. There's just too many. I can't name one.
Okay, I'm going to name a couple for you then. How about your memories of Game 4 in Sudbury, triple overtime?
Yeah, that was wild. That's definitely one that's up there. It's funny, we kind of talked about it after, and honestly, a lot of guys were just saying when we were on the ice, you just weren't trying to get scored on. You weren't really trying to score or make a big mistake. You were just trying not to get scored on, and luckily we got a power play, and obviously Felly buried it. And that was unreal. How
much fun was it to watch Ty Felliber in the playoffs and throughout the regular season?
Yeah, so much fun to be a part of that. His success. I mean, he worked so hard that summer and that year even. Felly's he's a character. He's a great guy. He's down to earth with all the boys, and to watch him score so many goals was awesome.
Did you take part in the Swiss Chalet in between the second and third overtime?
No, younger was encouraging it to everyone, but I don't know. I'm pretty superstitious. I don't like to eat too much between periods. But I saw Felly had a chicken wing bone or whatever it was, and was just munching.
Okay, so you brought up the superstition throughout that playoff run. You didn't do a single interview on TSN 1200. Why was that?
I think I don't remember, too much, but I think throughout the year when I would do an interview, I wouldn't have the best game. I'd do one for the game, and then I wouldn't have the best game. So I kind of wanted just to leave that away and just focus on the game more than the interview.
Well, that's fair enough. We'll get into filling in the holes in just a little bit. Another memory from that playoff run, Game 4 in Oshawa. Again, Ty Felliber playing overtime hero.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the 67s posted on Twitter or whatever the other day of, the third period goal and then the overtime goal. And I was on the bench for both of them, and it's just like, oh, he just won us the game, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, yeah, we got a power play, and then next thing you know, Felly scores, and then overtime right away, goal. Like that was so crazy. I think again I kind of stuck with our mindset is to stick to the process. We were playing a good game. It was a good game the whole way, and then we were doing the right things and we got rewarded.
And then the celebration. Again, the Ottawa 67's Twitter posted the video of Ty Felleber coming into the room. What was it like to be a part of that and just enjoy the moment winning the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, so much excitement from all the boys. You're in the room and you're going to the finals, for a lot of those guys, I think probably ever for the first time, right? And it's just crazy to win something like that and the Eastern Conference and just that moment, all the management's in there in the room and just it's a lot of happiness for sure.
And then on to the disappointing part of the whole playoff run. How long did losing to Guelph stick with you?
It still sticks with me, honestly. I'm from around the area too, right? So I hear about it a lot. A lot of people always bug me or whatever, and it's really tough, to be honest. It's not easy, when we were so close and we had such a tight group, and we thought we should have done better, but that's hockey, and just gotta live with it.
How much did you use that as motivation? Did the team use that as motivation coming into this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all the returning guys, they know the experience that we went through, how much it hurt, how much the effort and, commitment it took throughout the year to get there. And I think they're doing a really good job of that. And the younger guys were doing really well and stepping up for sure. I think the younger guys were a big part of our success this year. And I think the older guys really tried to lead the way with that experience.
This season, obviously, not the way that anybody wanted it to end. And with all the awards coming out from the OHL, Overager of the Year, Defenseman of the Year, Most Outstanding Player, Coach of the Year, GM of the Year, obviously you guys had something special going on. How difficult was it to see the season end?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, there were so many individual awards and stuff that were going on, or accomplishments and career highs and whatever else. But I think the biggest thing was how well our team was doing, and how we were unfazed by anything. I think we were going to go for a long run. I think it really sucks, but I don't think those awards were accidents. Hoff, Marco, Andre, Boydie, I think they work extremely hard every day, and it's not an accident that you see them getting those awards. It's what it is, and they deserve it for sure.
You put up a career high in points this year as well, a breakout year offensively for you. And you were beside Jack Quinn for the majority of the year, no matter who else was out there with you. How much fun was it to play with Jack Quinn on that second line?
Yeah, so much fun. He's a great player. He can shoot the puck really well. He's a competitor. He's driven, and he pushed me to be better a lot. I think he's gonna go really high in the draft, and it's no surprise to anyone. I think he's a great skater. He's got a great IQ, and he's a great player.
On to your NHL status. How are things going with the New Jersey Devils? 6 days left to sign, and no contract as of yet.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to sign here. I was informed that, but I respect the Devils. They've given me so many opportunities, and they've taught me so many things, at development camp, and I've learned a lot from the development coaches. A lot of respect for them, and obviously I want to prove them wrong and try and get a contract and show I can play at the pro level for sure.
And if that does come to fruition, how much does it help seeing a guy like Noel Hoffenmeyer sign an AHL deal this year, Ty Felleber signing an NHL deal last season? How much does that give you motivation that it can still be done?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I lived with Hoff this year, and I saw everything that he was doing, and it's definitely a big motivator for me. And it's not the worst thing ever, right? You look at Felly, you look at Hoff and Joe even, and see what they did in their overage season, and I'm definitely going to use those guys as comparables and try and have success next year.
I need to get into one relationship in particular that you had on the team. You mentioned that you were living with Noel Hoffenmeyer, but your relationship with Nikita Hatyuk over the last 3 years. You two are inseparable. How would you describe your relationship with him?
Yeah, I'd say we're brothers, honestly. We just same relationship I have with my own brother here. Just, he beats me up a lot, but I give it right back to him, and it's a lot of fun living with him. I mean, we get along really well, and at the rink it's fun too. Just showing up and chirping each other in front of everyone or whatever it is. But yeah, no, it's a good relationship.
And how was it when he couldn't speak English or English very well, and how much did you help him with that?
Yeah, it was pretty funny actually. We just look at each other and like thumbs up, thumbs down, or Google Translate on our phones to figure stuff out. It was funny, but he's picked it up really good or really quick, and his English is actually really good now. And yeah, so he's done good.
Throughout your time in the OHL, you never missed a game due to injury. And you mentioned at the beginning, you're not the biggest guy, but how do you explain being so durable?
I think the training staff does a really good job with us for sure. I think Dan Marinowski, obviously Sean Young, they're really good at keeping the boys mobile and in good shape for sure. And I honestly, I never really got hit too hard that I had to miss a game. Like you said, I've been lucky that way, or never had really big injuries. So just always was in the lineup.
Mitch, what's the plan for you going forward? Obviously, you need to wait 6 days to see what exactly happens with the Devils. But after that, what are you planning out for the summer?
Yeah, I'm trying to leave that all behind and let that work itself out. But for sure, I want to get a lot stronger and a lot more powerful, and add some size if I can.
How difficult do you find it to add size, add muscle? Maybe not the big thing, but just to keep weight on throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you burn a lot of calories and you're sweating a lot, and it's tough. You gotta be a pro that way, especially with Ottawa, the amount we practice and work out. You got to take care of your body and make sure you're eating right, sleeping right. So it's a big factor for sure.
All right. It seems like you're busy because I hear the text messages on your phone, your brother coming in, wanting his laptop back. But I need a scouting report. You've already given one on Jack Quinn, a potential top 10 pick. Need one on Marco Rossi as well. Give us your professional scouting report.
I don't know if you want me as a job like that, but I think Marco's a pretty world class player. I think he's so good at both ends. He's so good on his feet in corners and battles. He's hard to knock off the puck. He does everything right. I don't think there's one area of his game that's weak. And he was a great player to play with and learn from. I learned a lot from playing with Marco.
All right, I forgot one thing because I mentioned that I was going to bring it up. You're filling in the holes feature on TSN 1200. Is that something that you enjoyed doing, and could you see yourself potentially getting into a media position later on?
Yeah, I know you were pretty worried that I was going to take your job. I was getting so good at.
You and Graham Clark both?
Yeah, actually, my a lot of my parents and family and stuff would watch the games, and they always comment how well Clarky was doing at that. But yeah, the filling in the holes was actually a lot of fun. We would just bring up a random question before the game. Can you got the question, or do I have the question, kind of thing? And we'd go from there and just ask guys a random question, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, Mitch, I appreciate it, and hopefully, looking forward to seeing you again very soon.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. I'm sure we'll see you soon.